Okay, so let's just try a quick word association. If I say the words major world religion, and I'm talking specifically about Islam, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
Hmm.
Just be honest. For a vast majority of people, especially in the West, it's probably going to be,
Rules.
yeah, rules, laws, history, a very
Tough.
structured, almost legalistic framework. It feels heavy.
It feels heavy, exactly. It feels like a courtroom.
Yeah.
But what if the actual core frequency, the whole operating system, isn't law at all? What if it's love?
Mm.
And I don't just mean like the sentimental greeting card version of love. I mean a mystical, all-consuming force that is the literal reason for everything.
That's a huge reframing. You're basically moving from a transaction-based religion to a relationship-based one.
Right. And that's where we're going today. We are doing a deep dive into Secrets of Divine Love, a spiritual journey into a heart of Islam by A. Helwa. Now, before anyone tunes out thinking this is going to be some dry academic textbook, let me just stop you.
It is so not that. It's a spiritual guide. It blends theology with poetry from people like Rumi and Hafez. It pulls in psychology. It's all about bridging the gap between the head and the heart.
And that distinction is everything here. The author, A. Helwa, is essentially saying you can't think your way to the divine.
You have to feel it.
You have to feel your way there.
Mm.
She's taking this tradition that people often see as rigid,
Yeah.
and she's just illuminating this incredibly fluid, mystical core.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty specific. We're going to unpack her central argument that human beings aren't inherently sinful, but are just forgetful. And we're going to explore how this text reframes God from, a distant judge into a beloved.
Which totally changes the game. It changes why you'd even want to engage with faith in the first place.
It really does. So let's start right at the top. The idea of the divine. We have this cultural image, even if you're not religious, of God as the old man in the sky, right? The cosmic CEO checking a spreadsheet.
Right, the micromanager.
Yeah.
But Secrets of Divine Love just throws that out immediately. It talks about Allah. And we should be clear, that's just the Arabic word for God used by Arab Christians and Jews, too.
Right.
Not as some being on a cloud, but as the origin of love.
The origin of love.
Yes, and the book makes this really powerful ontological point. It says you cannot separate love from God any more than you can separate wetness from water.
Oh, I like that.
It's not something God does. It's what God is.
You can't have a dry ocean.
You literally can't. And it goes deeper into the linguistics, which I found just fascinating. In Islam, nearly every chapter of the Quran starts with this phrase, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Okay, but mercy. That still sounds a bit like a courtroom. A judge grants you mercy.
See, that's our Western legalistic filter. The source points out that the Arabic root for both Rahman and Rahim is Ram.
Ra.
And Ram literally means the womb.
Whoa. Wait, the womb.
Yes, the womb. So when the text talks about God's mercy, it's not a judge letting you off the hook. It's this nurturing, all-encompassing, womb-like love that completely surrounds creation.
That is so different.
Think of a fetus in the womb, right?
Yeah.
It gets everything it needs, protection, nourishment, life, before it even knows it exists. It doesn't earn it. It just receives it.
It completely shifts the dynamic from a courtroom to something so much more intimate.
It creates this sense of total safety. We are surrounded by the divine in that same way.
So if God is this ocean of love, this womb-like force, then what is the universe? What is a sunset or a mountain?
The author is careful here. She avoids pantheism, which is the idea that the tree is God. Instead, she uses this mirror analogy.
Okay, break that down for me.
Okay, so picture the sun setting over the ocean. You see a light glittering on the water.
Right?
Now, the water isn't the sun. You wouldn't point to a wave and say that's a star. But you see the qualities of the sun. Its light, its brilliance through the water. The universe, the text argues, is a set of mirrors reflecting God's qualities.
I see. So a mountain is reflecting majesty, a flower reflects beauty, a storm reflects power.
You got it. Everything in existence is a signpost pointing back to the source.
Yeah.
The whole universe is a gallery of divine art.
Okay, I'm with you. The universe is this gallery of mirrors. But this is where I always get hung up, because if it's all reflecting divine perfection, well, have you met people?
Yeah.
We are messy, we are destructive, we do not always look like perfect reflections of divine love.
And this is where the book makes its most, I think, radical turn. It redefines what it means to be human in this incredibly hopeful way.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Arabic word for human is insan, and the text links this to two different roots, One is uns, which means intimacy,
Intimacy.
but the other is nesian, which means forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness and intimacy. That feels like a total paradox.
It's the central tension of being human. The text argues that we aren't born with original sin, this sort of permanent stain. We're born with something called fitra.
Fitra.
It means innate goodness or primordial alignment. Basically, your factory setting is good.
Yeah.
You're already wired to know the divine, but because we are in sins, we get spiritual amnesia. We forget where we came from.
That is such a gentler way to look at human error. It's not I'm bad, it's I forgot who I am. It's an identity crisis, not a moral damnation.
Precisely. And the story of the fall, Adam and Eve, is seen through that lens. Their mistake wasn't some permanent curse on humanity. It was a lesson in accountability.
How do you mean?
Well, compare Adam to Iblis the devil. In the text, Iblis falls because of arrogance. He thinks he's better, he refuses to bow, and when he's called out, he blames God. He plays the victim. But Adam, when he messes up, he takes ownership. He turns back.
So the mistake isn't the point, it's the reaction to the mistake.
Yeah. Yes. The text says Adam rose through accountability, while the devil fell through arrogance. Perfection isn't about never falling. It's about how you get back up.
But wait, if we're naturally good, if our factory setting is fitra, why is it so hard? What's blocking that signal?
To the nafs.
The nafs, the ego.
The ego, yes.
Yeah.
But the book describes it not as some evil monster you have to slay, but as rust on a mirror.
Ah, back to the mirror.
Remember, the heart is that mirror, meant to reflect the divine sun. But when we get obsessed with the material world status, money, me, it's like a layer of rust builds up.
And a rusty mirror can't reflect light.
Exactly. The sun is still shining, the light isn't gone, you just can't see it anymore. So the whole work of spirituality, according to this book, is just polishing the mirror. Removing the rust so you can be who you already are.
Polishing the mirror. I really like that. It sounds so gentle. But let's be real, that polishing process, sometimes it feels less like a soft cloth and more like steel wool.
And that takes us right to the problem of pain. The hardest question, right?
Yeah.
If God is love, why is there suffering?
Yes. If I'm in the womb of mercy, why does it hurt so much sometimes?
The source uses the concept of fitna. It's usually translated as trial or test, but the root of the word comes from metallurgy.
Oh.
It refers to the process of burning raw gold in a fire to remove the impurities.
Oof. Okay, so we're being put in the fire to get the junk out.
That's the idea. But it's framed as a necessary process for growth. There's that story in the book about the boy and the butterfly.
Oh, the cocoon story.
The boy sees a butterfly struggling for hours to get out of its cocoon. He feels bad for it. He wants to be kind. So he takes a pair of scissors and just snips the cocoon open.
He saves it from the struggle.
He thinks he does. But the butterfly emerges with these shriveled wings.
Hmm.
It can't fly. And it just dies on the ground.
Because it needed that struggle.
It needed it. The pressure of squeezing through that tiny opening is literally what pumps blood and fluid into the wings so they can expand. The text argues that trials are God's way of pumping blood into our spiritual wings.
Wow, so it's not punishment.
It's preparation for flight.
That reframes the idea of being broken completely. It's not about destruction, it's about construction.
The book compares it to a doctor who has to re-break a bone that healed wrong so it can be set correctly. Or seed. A seed has to completely shatter to become a tree.
It has to undo itself to become itself.
Exactly. The shell of the ego has to crack so the spirit can grow.
Okay, so we're forgetful mirrors, we're covered in rust, and life is the sometimes painful process of polishing us. That's the diagnosis. What's the toolkit? What do we do?
The text focuses on three main tools: prayer, repentance, and gratitude. But it reframes all of them in a really fresh way.
Okay, let's start with prayer. That often feels transactional. I pray God gives me stuff.
And the book just flips that. It says very clearly, God needs nothing. The ocean doesn't need your drop of water. Worship isn't for God, it's for you.
Then why do it?
For the connection. The analogy is a cell phone signal. You don't charge your phone for the outlet's sake. The outlet has infinite power. You charge it so the phone can work. Prayer is plugging back into the source.
It's just recalibrating your own internal compass. Okay, What about repentance? That word is so heavy, it's loaded with guilt.
It is. But the source argues repentance, or taba, isn't about shame. Shame just makes you hide. Taba is about emptying the cup.
Emptying the cup.
Yeah. There's a famous story. A student comes to a wise master for wisdom, but he just keeps talking, showing off how much he knows. The master starts pouring tea into his cup.
And just keeps pouring.
Keeps pouring until it overflows, spilling everywhere. The student yells, "Stop, it's full!"
Right.
And the master says, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions. How can I give you anything if there's no room?" Repentance is just dumping out the ego so you can be filled with something better.
It's a spiritual decluttering. I love that.
It is. And the third tool is gratitude.
Mm.
This is huge. The text says gratitude isn't just saying thanks. It's a state of being that actually changes your reality.
How does it do that?
By creating trust. And trust dissolves fear. There's this wild story about a samurai on a boat in a storm.
A samurai. Yeah.
His wife is with him, and she's terrified, panicking that they're going to drown. So the samurai very calmly pulls out his sword and holds the blade right to her throat.
Whoa, that is intense.
Super intense. But she looks at him, and she starts to laugh.
She laughs with a sword at her throat.
She laughs. He asks her why, and she says, "Because the sword is in your hands, and I trust you. I know you love me and would never hurt me."
Oh, I see it now. She trusts the hand holding the weapon.
And the samurai puts his sword away and says, "And I am in the hands of God, just as you are in mine." The point is that gratitude is the radical trust, that even the storm, even the scary parts of life are being held by a loving source.
That shifts gratitude from being polite to being.
Yeah.
Yeah, radical trust.
Exactly. Knowing the storm is part of the journey.
So we've covered a lot of the internal work, polishing the mirror, emptying the cup. But we live with other people, and other people are usually the ones scratching up our mirrors in the first place.
Absolutely. And that's the final piece, universal love. The text connects Islamic theology with the African philosophy of Ubuntu.
I am because we are.
Yes, we're all interconnected.
Yeah.
You can't claim to love the divine artist and then treat his art creation like it's garbage.
You cannot love the artist and hate his art. That's a line that sticks with you.
It means that true service to others is the highest form of worship, and not just the people you like.
That's the trick, isn't it? It's easy to love the art when it's a beautiful painting. It's harder when the art just cut you off in traffic.
And for that, Helwa uses this amazing metaphor about an orange.
An orange.
It's a story about Jesus. He's being insulted by a crowd. They're shouting horrible things at him. And he just listens. And then he prays for them, blesses them.
He responds to hate with love.
And a disciple asks him, why? They were awful to you. And the answer given is this: if you squeeze an orange, what comes out?
Orange juice.
And does it matter who squeezes it or how hard?
No. You only get what's inside.
Exactly. If you squeeze a person with insult or pressure, what comes out is only what's already inside them. If anger comes out, it's because anger was in there. Jesus had no hate inside, so when the world squeezed him, only love could come out.
Wow. That puts all the responsibility right back on us. If I snap when I'm stressed, it's not the stress, it's the snap that was already in me, waiting.
It's about purifying the heart so that when life inevitably squeezes you, what spills out is sweet.
Okay, let's pull this all together. We started with religion feeling like a rigid rule book, but this deep dive has been, well, the complete opposite.
It really has. We've gone from God as a distant judge to the origin of love, the womb of mercy. We've seen humans not as sinful, but as forgetful mirrors that just need a good polish.
And the hard stuff in life, the pain. That's the friction that does the polishing. It's the seed breaking so the tree can grow.
And finally, that it's not a solo mission. It's about emptying our own cup of ego so we can fill it with love and then pour that out for everyone else.
There's one final twist in the book that I found so trippy. It's this idea of seeking God.
Yes, the paradox.
Go on.
The text says we run around seeking God, but
Yeah.
that's a funny idea. Because if God is the ocean and we are the fish, we're already in the water.
Right. It's like a fish swimming around desperately asking, can anyone tell me where the ocean is?
Exactly. You don't need to find the water. You just need to wake up and realize you're already wet. You're already being held.
That's a beautiful thought to end on. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to wake up.
But there's one last very practical question the text leaves us with. A way to find your specific purpose within that ocean.
And this one is a heavy one.
It is. The question to ask yourself is, what breaks your heart the most?
What breaks your heart?
Yes. The book suggests that the thing that shatters your heart, poverty, injustice, loneliness, cruelty to animals, whatever it is, that heartbreak is a compass. It's pointing directly at your mission.
So don't run from the heartbreak. Follow it.
That's where your specific song fits into the great symphony. That's where your work is.
That gives us a lot to think about. Thank you for walking us through that.
My pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.